Y'all, I'm driving to Rhode Island. I'm so tired. This has been a long week. I said, let me go live because the problem is I don't have space on my phone. I need to get a phone. That's what I really need to do. I still have the iPhone 12, and I don't know if y'all are anything like me. I'm one of those people that there's just certain things that I do. It doesn't matter how much money I have or don't have. I'm always going to do these things. One of them is go to the thrift store. I'm always buying my church clothes from the thrift store. I don't care how much money I have. Gonna happen. The next thing is I'm not keeping up the new iPhones that come out. I feel like if I'm one of those people that run to get a new phone every time they come out, it's gonna exhaust all of my money. So I'm one of those people that as long as my phone can still take calls and can still um, receive text messages, I'm not getting a new phone. However, now that I've started recording my YouTube videos, I'm realizing that I'm running out of space. And so, like I said the other day, I recorded a video. It was like 6 minutes long. It wasn't nothing crazy. And it went away because I don't have the storage on my phone. So I said, you know what? I'm driving to Rhode Island. Let me go live so that we could chat while I drive. Like normally when I'm driving to Rhode Island, I call people. I normally call my mother, my sister if she's off from work. That's when I check in with my family. I call my aunts, my uncles to check in on them, make sure they're doing okay. So instead, I decided to talk to y'all while I'm driving. Granted, I'm a person that I ramble a little bit, so hopefully, out of the rambling, you get something that you agree with, disagree with, whatever. So first, let me tell y'all about my week. If you follow my channel, y'all know that I work the two jobs right now. One of them is really like I pick up when I feel like it. If you follow my channel, you also know that I just got my commercial space. So right now it's grind time because I have to stack money up. I'm about to kick off my business. And if you know anything about business, you know you got to spend money to make money. So I have to look to furnish the place, um, pay for permits, everything that I have to do is going to require money. My GPS is telling me something while I'm driving. In any case, so my main job, I see 30 patients to go, 30 patients a week. They don't care what days I see them. So what I did was I moved my Tuesday. I normally do Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 10 patients each day. So I moved patients from Tuesday to Monday, and I moved my patients from Wednesday to Friday so that I was able to work the second job Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Fridays I go in at 2, so that's why I take the ones from Wednesday and put them on Fridays. So today I woke up, I ran, I went to go see my patients from Wednesday, and now I'm running Rhode Island to go work with them. I see people are writing me. I'm sorry I can't. I'm gonna read you guys' comments later on because of course I'm driving. But thank y'all for watching, and I thank y'all for the support as well. Um, But I wanted to also talk about the last video that I posted about taking a village. In case you didn't see that video, I had posted a video that a guy that I went to school with made a comment saying, "What happened to the mentors that, like the OGs, so to speak, or the aunties that used to take the young kids under their arm and basically teach them about life, teach them how to move, things to do, things not to do." He was saying nowadays everybody's so focused on partying, doing drugs, um, focusing on men, women, that they're not doing what they used to do before. And I made a video yesterday saying I think the concept of it takes a village to raise a child has gone away. It doesn't exist anymore. And it's really unfortunate because although I understand some of the reasons why way, I think the benefits or the pros associated with having that mentality are also being lost. When I say it takes a village, an example for what I'm saying is there are a lot of kids these days that aren't growing up with grandparents. Even just to have a grandparent that you see on a regular, not even in your specific household, plays a big part in how you do things, how you go through life, your mentality. Me personally, I didn't live with my grandma, but I always lived close to my grandma. My grandma had an apartment on the green, and when I was younger, if I didn't have school, my mother would take me over there. She would show me how to cook food, how to season food. She would teach me about how to pay my tithes. My grandma's literally who taught me how to pay tithes, like to take the 10%, how much to put for offering. um Things about my grandma was a heavily into church, so she taught me a lot of stuff about church. She taught me about life in general. She also would tell us a lot of stories. I think I might be past where I'm supposed to go. Y'all, I'm busy running my mouth. I think it's 69. Okay. Um, my grandma was heavily into church. So apart from that, she also would teach us a lot of stories. Now my sisters and I laugh because we wonder if the stories were actually true or just, things that she made up to make her point get home. For example, she used to tell us about this lady that everyone used to see her out in the street. She was dressed up with furs and, all fancy. And then one day she fell sick. She was out at work. And so, for whatever reason, they ended up having to carry her to her home. I guess back then, there was an ambulance and all this stuff. So, they carry her into her house, and her house is a pigsty. If you Caribbean, you know what a chamber is or a chimney. you know, when you don't have access to a bathroom, they have the buckets that people, do number one in, and then they dump it out in the morning. So she had a bunch of chimneys filled with her bodily fluids all over the house, the clothes thrown everywhere, food, everything. So the people just basically threw her in the corner when they got there because they're like, oh, I can't believe this lady that dresses so fancy to come to work is dressed like her place is like this. And so my grandma, the whole point of the story is that always leave your house in a clean, presentable condition because you never know who you'll meet on the street that needs to come to your house with you. So I'm just giving an example of the type of stories and things that my grandma instilled into us. And granted, my mother did also, but I'm just saying when you have the grandmother that says the stories, you see that I'm 36 and I still remember that story. And if y'all follow my channel, y'all know that I told you guys that's a part of me. Like I could be sick and I not make my bed. I never go out and leave dishes in the sink or go to bed and leave dishes in the sink. There's just certain things that I do not do because I wasn't raised like that. And I want that if Obama met me at the grocery store and said, "Can I go back to your house to use the bathroom?" that I can be like, "Sure," and I don't have to tell him, "Hold on a second, let me run." So it's just things that we were brought up hearing. I'm saying that to say, "Ooh, the police is out, y'all." I'm saying that to say that it's really important to have your children have people around because especially safe people that want to instill good into your kids. I know as a parent, I'm not a parent, so let's put that out there. And I know there's one thing to speak hypothetically and there's another thing to do it in real life. But I from what I've observed and what I've been told as a parent, when you're busy working, hustling and bustling, sometimes you don't have the energy to really pour into your kids how you would like to. So the pros to let's say having a grandma, the grandma is often, retired at a certain point and they're able to do things that you might not, or an auntie that doesn't have kids is able to take your kids to go travel. I know I'm that type of auntie that I take my nieces and nephew. I have six of them. Especially the five younger ones. I've taken them all over different countries, different states. I plan big or things for them because I like them a different experience. So by allowing your kids to be around, different people, they're able to learn something like learn something new, whether it's school, education, whatever. Again, I do understand that back in the day, everybody thought that anybody named family was safe. And unfortunately, there's a lot of things that took place that were inappropriate that shouldn't have, because in some people's mind, once you family, you're safe. I don't believe in that. So I do understand people being more careful now and saying like, no, I don't let my kids sleep over anyone's house. I don't care if it's grandma's house, aunt, uncle. I don't let my kids sleep out of my house. I understand, because you really never know. You really never know who is or is not a predator. However, on the flip side, a lot of that family bond is gone. I remember growing up, we would all go to one person's house, even if you sleep on the floor, even if you sleep, um, even if you got a, three of y'all sleep in the sofa, everybody just throw down. Grandma wake up in the morning, or aunt, whoever wake up and is cooking for everybody. You have a bond. You grow up and you're like, oh, that's my cousin, that's my family. And as y'all know, I'm Panamanian, so for a lot of, I think, Hispanic culture, family is really important. At least most of the time, or at least it used to be. I'm seeing a lot of kids growing up now that their cousins could be sitting right beside them, and it means nothing. They don't care. I don't know. It's just saddening to see. On the flip side, that brings me to what I recorded. The long video that I recorded the other day that got deleted was about the new song that Kanye released called Cousins. And so in that song, he's basically saying that him and his male cousin um, participated in inappropriate sexual acts when they were younger. I'm not sure the age difference of him and his cousin, but the song ends with him saying the last inappropriate sexual act that he did on his cousin was when he was 14, I want to say, or 15. And it leads me to believe that the cousin was younger. Again, I don't know the age gap. I'm saying this to say, of course, we know Kanye is struggling with his mental health right now. So, you have to give him grace for the things that he's saying. And some people might feel like some of what he's saying isn't true. Some of it's just for clout. To me, I do believe him. Even though his mental health might not be stable, I think that he's still saying the truth. So my whole video that I recorded that didn't go through was basically talking about how a lot of times people want to protect their kids from adults, but they don't realize that they also have to watch their kids with other kids. And it's not necessary that the child might mean to be a predator, but some kids are exposed to things that your child has not been exposed to. And that's unfortunate. It's really saddening. But that's number one. So you gotta watch kids, how they play together. When they play, you can't just let them, oh yeah, just let them all be in a house together or sleep up. No, because you don't know. Even siblings, let's be honest. As you're growing up and you're seeing stuff and you're hearing stuff, kids like to practice what they see and who's the person that they're gonna want to practice things with. Maybe their cousins, maybe their family. And again, they might not know that it's wrong, but you gotta be around. You gotta keep a listening ear when they're playing. You can't just be in your own world and say, "Oh, it's kids, so it's safe." So that's what my rant was about. The other day that got deleted. But yeah. Let's fast forward now to talk about my commercial space that I got, because I wanted to do a video about that as well. I plan to record a video so you guys can see the new commercial space. I plan to open a school. I'm gonna give you guys more details closer to the time, but the short version of it is that I plan to start a school. God's willing, that's what's gonna happen. Again, I'll give you guys more details. I'll give you guys a tour as they finish fixing up the place. But I just wanted to give a little background about the location that I found for the school. And the reason why I'm really talking about this is because I want this to encourage someone else that might be considering to start a business, or that's looking for a house or whatever it is, right? Because this has encouraged me in parts that have nothing to do with business. So it started off with me desiring to start this school and needing the location. When I started looking on my own, I found a lot of suites basically in the price range that I wanted. So when I say